You know, there are those among us who see too much. They notice every flicker in a person's tone, every tremor beneath the calm. They walk through life like a mirror that reflects not only the world's beauty, but its confusion, its madness. And the great mistake is to imagine that because we see, we must fix. That awareness is a command to interfere. Alan Watts once said, "To be free, you must let go of the urge to control the world, even the parts that disturb you." So what happens to those who see too much? Do they go mad, or do they learn to let it be? When perception sharpens, you begin to notice what others overlook: the cracks in conversation, the hollowness in routine, the way people chase security while trembling inside. But if you stare too long, awareness becomes a kind of vertigo. The mind wants to categorize, to correct, to shout, "Don't you see what's happening?" Yet Watts reminds us that this compulsion to reform the universe is still a form of ego. He said, "The desire to improve yourself is itself the problem, for the self that you seek to improve is the one that needs to be let go." To see too much is not the curse, it's the clinging to what you see that makes it unbearable. Everything flows, says the Tao, and Watts, who loved to translate that wisdom, would smile and say, "The universe is playing hide and seek with itself." When you stop trying to freeze the current, you realize the water never resists you. You're carried, not conquered. So if you see the truth of people's pain, of the world's absurdity, you don't have to correct it. You can simply witness it with compassion, not control. Psychologically, this is the practice of non-resistance, not apathy, but the courage to let reality breathe without rearranging it. Watts often compared life to a dance, a musical performance, and said the point of music isn't to reach the end of the song, but to play it well. When you see too much, you're tempted to stop the dance, to analyze every step. But the moment you do that, you're no longer dancing. So the secret, he said, is to participate as if you didn't know the steps at all. To act without acting, to flow without force, what Zen calls Wu Wei. In psychological terms, this is the shift from hypervigilance to awareness. The nervous system stops bracing and begins to trust the rhythm of existence again. Letting be is not passive, it's an art, like allowing the tide to rise and fall without standing there with a bucket trying to stop it. Watts said, "Muddy water is best cleared by leaving it alone." Psychologically, this mirrors what therapy calls radical acceptance. You can't transcend what you won't allow. When you let reality be, you give your awareness space to deepen, and something miraculous happens. The very thing that disturbed you begins to dissolve on its own. Perhaps to see too much is simply to see what is. And the task isn't to blind yourself or to preach, but to become a clear lens through which life can look back at itself. When you stop trying to control the picture, you realize you are the picture, the observer and the observed. So if you see too much, don't shrink. Don't turn it into a crusade. Just breathe it in, be the witness, and let the world dance.